Welcome to Kolorflow Conversations. I am Uakeisha, and this is
Tikisha.
And we welcome you all to if this is your first time joining us, because we're getting a lot of new subscribers, we welcome you. Listen, like, subscribe, follow, share with a friend. And at the end of this, I think you had an idea that if people wanted to suggest a topic for us,
yes, to drop it down in the comments.
Drop it in the comments if it's something that you would like for us to discuss or you have questions. Drop it in the comments and we'll look at it. And we also have an email. If you don't drop it in the comments, it's colorflowconversations@gmail.com. We want to say that now because once we start talking, I forget.
Yeah, and right on our channel under the description, all of our contact information is there, our websites and the email address again, if you didn't catch it.
Yeah, so I wanted to just go ahead and put that out there because, once we get going,
yeah,
we get going.
Stuff like, oh, we forgot to.
Yeah. Right, we forgot. But I just want to say, last week was amazing. We vlogged the entire day because we had a lot going on that day. And if you have not caught that, Car Chronicles is also listed on our YouTube page, showing our entire day. That was very fun, interesting.
And tiring.
It was tiring.
I was tired. And then I still went home because I'm the vampire. I was still up all night. Like, were you so tired? Yes.
I mean, I was out. I was tired. We did a lot. I will say this though. We haven't had a lot of days where we spent a whole day together. It's just really recently.
Really in our entire friendship.
Yeah.
We don't have that.
We have not had like whole days where we shopped or anything like that. This year was probably the first time. And each time we do it, it'd be like, it's so, I don't even know the word to describe it. It's fun and joyful, and we be tired and laughing, but it be things that happen during the day that it just be like, girl, did you see that?
Yeah. Or I'll notice something and she'll be thinking it. It's just
yeah. One thing that's funny that always happen is we always see somebody I dated.
Yeah.
Always. And I ain't trying to act like it was a whole lot of people. But
yeah, let's clear that up. Yeah, I feel like in the last one, I'm like my collection, like I'm just out here and I'm not. But
we always see somebody that I dated, and not just dated, that it's been an experience about or something about them. And I'd be like, girl, why? I wonder, and it's almost like you can, because you've never met them, you can put a face with the story.
Yes, because I was thinking the last time, like, I'm pretty sure I probably looked at him when he walked in, but because I didn't know who he was, it was just like, oh, a man just walked past.
Yeah.
Not knowing that it was a man she knew.
Not knowing, it just be like, but it was a great day. We had a great experience for my son. We talked about how women are haters with each other, and then we had the experience in the restaurant where they didn't open until a certain time, and the gentleman, because we're the queens that we are, he came and was like, you all come on in, and before they opened, and a lady said, you heard her.
Now this a week ago, so I don't remember exactly what she said, but it was the word protocol is sticking out.
I think she said you should have stuck with protocol.
So I figure that it's just like, if we do it once, we got to do it again, when I feel like every situation is not that. And really, when you are working with the public in general, from all, employment categories, you sometimes got to adjust with who you're dealing with.
You do.
You can't bucket us all in a thing. And it, like I said, it wasn't like we had came 2 hours early. It was 15 minutes. You needed to go to the restroom. And I didn't know he had told you that we still had to wait until the time, but it was just like, I even felt like it was a slow motion with bringing the water while we was over there. But I felt like it was the energy that he was pulling from her.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because he was real genuine and nice. But as the time went by, She warmed up
she
and came
did.
over like, do you need some water?
And she wasn't even our server. She's like, do you all need anything? And I think it's also because of how we other people probably would have got an attitude and gave
people
her
are
attitude.
perceived so many different ways, you know, prior to, like I said, we judging people before we even know who they are or how they're going to act. We were okay with just coming in there, sitting down, waiting, because it was either that or we was just going to sit in the car. We wasn't leaving.
We wasn't leaving. We was like, we'll go back to the car. But something told me to just open the door, and he opened the door like, you all come on in. And I think what she said to you was, you should not have done that. You should have stuck with protocol. And you never talk like that in front of a guest. I know that. Certain things you don't say in front of clients, certain things you don't say in front of guests. And for her to say that in front of you was like inappropriate as well.
And even in moments when you think you are not being heard, there's some of us that
hear,
can hear, that are listening, even when they don't want to. So it's just like, it's just a time and a place for everything.
Y'all, look at my friend. She is so, look, she got it on today. She got it on.
Listen.
She got it on. She got it on.
So
I love it.
Yesterday I had a day.
Okay.
And I was sad.
Really?
Yeah, I was thinking about my mom.
Okay.
It wasn't, and it was just like, man, I just wish I could talk to her. You know, it was it was just one of those moments. And then I needed to go to the mall. You know, I'm not driving. So my sister was saying that my niece was going. And I rode with her, but I had like threw on some clothes because I hadn't even sprayed my hair. I didn't shake it. I literally pulled the bonnet off. And my bonnet is too little, so it's
your hair all scratched up.
Yes, and I just put my hood on, and my niece just looked at me, and she was just like, "I would have waited." I was just like, "It's fine," because it was just one of those days. So, but I told myself, like how I was saying, to believe it to see it. If I didn't seen the locket with my mom, and other little things have happened since then that, of course, my memory won't allow me to speak on them specifically. But things have happened, and I've just been like, you gotta trust that she is there, even though not in the physical. It's like, you believe in spirits, you believe that you can talk to your granddaddy or whatever other ancestor before you, but you think that you can't talk to your mama. You think that your mama not there. Like, girl, it's okay. She's with you. And I guess because, you know, I struggle and I want that conversation, and I know that that's not going to happen, that there's just going to be other things as reminders of her. So I said that, which I've been trying to do that a lot lately, because we're human. And sometimes I know people, even with therapists, people think like they're supposed to have it all together. But everybody on the face of this earth is human. So I can pour into you and still be struggling with other things in my life, or even struggling with the same thing. And you don't even realize that while I'm helping you, I'm healing myself.
Exactly.
So as my day went on, and I said, I'm not going to stay in that hole, because I told my niece, I said, you know how I get in the sunken place, I'm in the hole. I said, my feet right there looking like I just want to jump in. I said, but I'm not going to jump in. So today I was looking, and I was getting ready, and I had just pulled out some jeans and a t-shirt.
Really?
And then I looked and I said, not today. Not today, Satan. And my Satan just be that other me.
Right.
The evil on the inside. And I said, no. I was just like, the weather's transitioning. Black make me think of a transition. I said, so I'm going to spice it up a bit. And I'm going to be a cute girl instead of just, I was always going to be cute.
No matter what you got on.
Yes, because but I wanted to, like you said, you step into it. I felt better. I felt dressed up versus than yesterday, because I was still cute how I was, but I didn't even feel it.
It's funny how you said that even therapists go through things, but they're able to help somebody else. I feel that a lot. Like when I have been going through stuff, I have always been a believer of not looking like what I go through. And I felt like I've always been able to pour into other people, even when I was going through, and it was healing for me, which is what's been helping me on my healing journey, because I could take a message that I probably have never thought about in somebody else's story and help heal myself. So that is like so true, because we don't realize it. I've talked to people that be like, therapy don't help me. It's not a thing that, one thing that we as Black people always had a problem with was going to therapy, because they act like, oh, you crazy or something like that. But just talking to somebody and being able to let somebody pour into you that probably don't know you, and you ain't got to know their personal life. None of us are perfect. I think everybody should go to therapy.
I agree. I think everybody should go to therapy.
I think everybody should go.
And then I also feel like, because you can be in therapy too long, because it should be an action plan.
Yeah.
It should be an action plan, and you should get there, because I stopped going to therapy because I felt like I didn't need a therapist, because I reached a level whereas I can accept you telling me something.
Mm-hmm.
I can accept something. I'm going to take it down to one of the people that in my life that I get the most valuable information from is my 8-year-old niece.
I know. Yeah.
She puts me in my place a lot. So there's things where it's just like I'm receptive to learn. I'm not like, because I'd be like, I'm almost a half a century. Y'all can't tell me nothing. But no matter how old I get, I don't ever want to be where I can't learn new things.
And that's a problem.
And a different way of doing it, and just understanding, things where it's just like, oh, you don't say universe in my house. Like, saying that doesn't mean that I don't believe in God.
Yeah.
So that's one of the things where I'm just like, I always just want to be open.
Yeah.
Like we talked about on the one, open-mindedness.
Open-mindedness. Yeah. That part is, you always got to be coachable. And if you're not always in a position of where you open to learning from anybody, no matter if they're young, old, Black, white, whatever race.
And this goes across the board, because I even think about doing my job for so long, and then somebody be like, if you do click this button, this drop down. It's just like, I've been here for years and I ain't know that. Like, you just told me one little bitty trick.
Yeah. I feel like I've always tried to be coachable. There are people that I probably feel like I am about to listen to you, because you can kind of discern if they just ain't coming from a place of really genuine or trying to teach you something. But people who know it all or something like that, I probably have an issue with learning from them, because I can tell that spirit is, I'm a know it all. I know everything, and I'm the smartest person in the room. I can't learn from people like that, but I can always sit under someone, and if they are wise or sharing some wisdom in a genuine way, I'm always open to learning and listening, no matter what age or who they are. But a know-it-all, or somebody who think they know everything, they're not in their authentic self.
See, I'm surrounded by know-it-alls. I'm a Banks. I'm a know-it-all too. But as I say all the time, I feel like it's levels. Yeah, but the thing is, I feel like there's the know-it-alls that, like you said, they come in like, but it's just like we talked about before, like, I know a little bit about a lot of things. A lot of things, but I don't always speak what I know. I will sit with you and act like I have never experienced or heard of this before in my entire life, but I don't have that, what's the boastful, that know it all.
Maybe that's the
spirit. That's the thing. That's the spirit of, because we have some people who really know it and know what they talk about, and you can tease and be like, oh, you a little know it all. Like, I was called smarty pants. We say those things like it's bad, but it's when you're boastful.
That's what it is. When you're boastful,
then it's a problem.
You're not boastful though, so that's probably why I didn't consider you a know-it-all, because you've never had a boastful spirit or came off like that. But the people who come in the room boastful, the loudest one in the room, I know everything about every subject. I'm an expert in everything. You need to learn from me.
Yep,
I
it's
can't.
that.
It's that.
Because in my family, like I said, everybody think they know it all. Okay, so we can have a situation and somebody, the other person is just trying to tell you, but you know it all, so you ain't listening. So we just all just, sit back.
Yeah.
And we all told you so. Like, tried to tell you, could have just asked for help. Da 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 da. But it's not. That. Well, sometimes it has been certain situations where it's just like gone on with that know-it-all thing. But it's the spirit behind it.
It's a spirit behind it. It's a spirit behind it. And I have been around. You probably have too.
I do this every time, but is it green eyeliner? Because it's cute. I like it.
It's green.
It's cute. It's money green.
Listen, money flows to me easy
and effortlessly.
All
the time.
Okay, we welcome it.
Yes.
Okay? We welcome it. So we just had to throw that in there. But I've been around a lot of know-it-alls. I'm sure you have too.
Yeah.
And I have received them. I dated a know-it-all once. He was not just a know-it-all, he was rude.
See, that's something else too. Yes. Adding on another level, another layer.
So I probably could have dealt with, not rude to me per se, not in the beginning, and towards the end, he got very rude. But I can't deal with your know-it-all spirit and you're rude with it. Oh, I'm never going to listen to you. Because the best leaders are followers first.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not going, you have to know how to be kind in your know-it-all spirit. I know a lot, and I've told you I sit and won't say nothing. Won't say anything. And over the years, we also talked about this. I can't remember what episode. I didn't say it out loud, but I'm talking about where I said there are certain people who've been close to me or friends with me over the years that felt a certain way about me, like I didn't know anything, or I won't use the term that I think that they use, but or that they thought about me, but I will sit in my quietness and just observe. I will sit and observe, because what I don't have to do is prove what I know. I'm not going to come off as boastful or rude about what I know. I may not have a degree. You don't have a degree, but you want to smart. I tell you that all the time, like, girl, you my smart friend. Because you know a lot. And then, but you don't come off as boastful.
And see, that's another thing where, as I'm going to say Americans, because I don't know what other term I want to use, but we get to restart thinking at this paper, because I read a lot. You know what I'm saying? And it's not like just fiction novels. I'm reading books.
Yeah.
Because I just want to know. Like, my dad still got the encyclopedia. And so I was just I've been, going crazy about the bird. So my niece knew that. So she was just like, oh, I brought this over because I thought that you might want it. So I'm reading a damn encyclopedia.
Yeah.
So it's just like, you can have all these degrees on your wall, but trust me,
you don't.
My intelligence level, just because my vocabulary may be a certain way when I speak, I'm not deaf, dumb, or stupid.
Yeah, that part, because a lot of people, and I think education is important. I'm pushing my kids, I'm pushing my children to get the highest level of education that they can. But the know-it-all spirit that comes with that sometimes is very disheartening, because if you have, I hate to use the word I hate when people do that, and I'm glad I recognize I said that. But the know-it-all spirit that comes with the paper, sometimes is like you got the paper, but you ain't got no common sense.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
That happens.
You got the book sense, but you don't have the common sense. And I think the common sense is more important than the book sense.
Because even when I had started going back to school, and remember, that was one of the times where I really did move in silence.
Yeah, I ain't know.
And everybody was just like, well, I won't say everybody. A few people was just like, you didn't say nothing. And I'm like, I know. Because this was something that I just wanted to do for me. Yeah. I wanted to get that degree for
you.
Me.
Yeah.
Not because, of my parents' expectations or all my friends have degrees. It was like, I'm going back. I'm doing it in something I want to learn in and know about, and I'm doing it for me.
Yeah.
And I didn't broadcast it because we talked about what I do and what I want to be known for. It wasn't about what I'm hanging on the wall.
Yeah.
It's actually still in the envelope.
I don't talk a lot about, like, because I didn't go to university, but I went to school out of the country. And I don't ever, like, when I have that conversation with somebody, ask me, how'd you get into doing what you do? And I'll put that in there. They're like, you did? You went where? That's not, to me, as important as what I do as pouring into people when they sit in my chair. I feel like what I do, one of the things we talked about last episode was, what do you want to be known for? I know now that what I want to be known, one of the things I want to be known for is, this was part of my ministry, is when women sit in my chair, they've been healed, they've been helped, they felt good from the inside out. They, they left different from the way they came in. That's what I want to be known for. And that's why I believe that the clients who I have come to me, because they probably are, you're going to get your makeup beat. You're going to get beat down. You're going to feel great. Your lashes going to look good. But the spirit that's going to be in the room, whether it's girlfriend chit chat talking or we go into some word or whatever, that's what I want to be known for, is that her business was her ministry. That's how she preached to people. That's how she helped people. It's not a know-it-all spirit. And people who in this business, a lot of them are rude. Like we were talking about the young lady, I won't say the girl, I don't know how old she was, that was kind of rude when we went in the restaurant last week. You should have followed protocol. You should have never let them in early. I'm not that artist that have all these rules. You 15 minutes late, that's $15. If you did,
I will attest to this too. I don't really qualify as your friend, so to speak, but my sister, when she saw you, and she was just like, Keisha said I could have just texted her. And I was just like, yeah, I said, people text her for appointments all the time. Because I hadn't even had the conversation with my sister to say, just text her. Because I was just like, well, look on the website for booking. You know what I'm saying? Because we're just so used to this day and age that's what everybody doing. Yeah. You go onto the website and there's rules, and
people don't want to talk to them client anymore. They like, everything is on the site. I don't have an issue with a lady who never had her makeup done saying, can you give me a call or can I call you? I'll call them. And why wouldn't I want them to feel comfortable? Because it's not just about $1. This is a part of my ministry. When she come in, my first impression on that phone with her is what's going to bring her back. So that's how you build a clientele, which is what I think is being lost in this day and age is, don't be, if you 5 minutes late, if you this minutes late, and you do this, and I just don't operate that way. And because I don't operate that way, I don't have a lot of people late. I don't have a lot of, people not showing up. You attract what you are.
I just told one of my clients this week to start saying to herself, I don't chase, I attract.
I attract, yeah.
And that was what I briefly told you about it, but always things come a little bit full circle, and I just love when that happens. Mm-hmm. But remember when you asked me what I wanted to be known for, I was just like, I don't know, because a lot of times I didn't know. And I wasn't embarrassed about that, because it's just like, I don't want to speak for something, because I know that there are certain things that I said I wanted last week where I was just like, why was I asking for that? God, I don't want that. So it's just like, it's important for me, and especially knowing how my brain works, to process things.
Yes.
So after I spoke at that brunch, And the lady said that she called herself an encourager. I was, like I told you, I was in awe of that. And I was like, that's what I want to be known for.
Yeah.
I want to be known that when I left your life, or when I was in your life, however, whatever aspect of it, that I encourage you. Even if we just laughing and smiling, I'm encouraging us both to keep having a good time.
Yeah, good
like
time.
That's what I want to. I want to be known for that, for my family, friends, and even people that I don't meet. And like you said, that would be a part of my ministry as a spiritual life coach.
Yeah.
Because when that random lady just walked up to me in Target asking me a question about my tattoo, and I said, oh, my mother passed away. And she went into crying and went through her whole story. And I hugged her right in there.
Mm-hmm.
That's a part of what I do. But
That's
then
it,
the flip side was, I was talking to a friend of mine, and I was saying, you know, I had a client that was a bit worked up. So I offered the service without us doing the visual.
Mm-hmm.
And she told me, she said, you know, I'm pretty sure that there's plenty of people that might be nervous about sharing this and what they look like.
Yeah.
So being able to just tap in on the energy and do that sort of in secret, for you to just send whatever and they just process it on their own. Because so many things have led us to feel like we should be embarrassed. And we should not be embarrassed about anything that we have ever done
or gone through.
Gone through, yes. Because the one thing I can't remember, my sister, she a therapist, and she said trauma, and she spit out like the definition of it. But when she gave the example, she was just like, I mean, it could be anything. It could be as simple, because we always try to think when we use that word, it's a big thing, but in simplest terms, it's not.
Yeah.
And one of her examples was, I mean, it could be you getting your hair pressed. And I said, and that's me right now with my hair like this, because I remember sitting as a kid in that chair,
getting your ears
with
burned,
that going in my ear, and then I'm getting in trouble, and I'm gonna strap you down to the chair if you don't stop moving. Whereas I could have just been growing my hair just like this.
But because we were told that you needed silky straight, and that you wanted to look like the next girl, or that the girl, or
that was just a better look.
Yeah.
It's always been like, it's better, not necessarily looking like the next, because we all was trying to look alike. We all getting these straight raps.
We all were getting the raps. We all were getting the raps. We all thought that that's what society, what we should look like.
And I remember the first time I was really exposed to locks was when I was in 11th grade. One of my friends, her friend had locks, and I used to be in awe of her hair. Like, I wanted that. And I think I said this on the episode before, but it was nothing that I was never going to bring home to my parents, because I already knew. I assumed from my dad, I really don't know his views, but I just assumed from like how I've seen my aunts and stuff. But from my mom,
girl. I remember Saturday nights, because I'm the PK. Saturday nights, my mother preparing me and my sister for church that Sunday morning. We would be in the kitchen getting our hair pressed and straightened and twisted in the long ponytails, and how, the proper hairstyles. And then when we got older, how we started getting the perms, and now they call them relaxers. And now a lot of people don't even get them, I guess.
Yep.
But you would go through your scalp burning, literally burning, and then getting scabs in your scalp.
Yeah, because there's sometimes that I've been like, is it burning?
Yeah, so you can have, so it can stay straighter.
So I'm just like, it's going to get straighter. Do we even know if that theory is true?
I don't even know, girl. I don't know. But yeah, we would sit there and let it burn as long as we could, so we could have it straighter. So we wouldn't have no nappy hair. And all of that is trauma. I think that's part of the shadow work I did, which is why I decided to lock my hair, because I was like, you don't have that good hair where they used to say was good hair, not realizing we all got good hair, long as it's healthy. but you don't have that good hair where it stays straight, or you can just throw water on and it curl up or whatever. You don't have that. But all of that is trauma going through thinking of that. And when you go through therapy, which is why I think a lot of people need to go to therapy, when you go through therapy and you can start talking about your childhood and dealing with those things, you realize
and you release.
And you release it.
I remember that day when I cried and everybody was just like, "You okay?" And I told my sister, I said, "I just think that I freed that little girl." It wasn't me crying. It was that little girl that was crying.
Yeah. Yeah.
I finally was able to free her, and I was 47.
Girl, to get over
and I'm still.
Yeah.
Because that's the one thing, we think you jump a hurdle and you just keep going. Sometimes it'd be like, let me rewind to see. And then you right back running.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's just like that's, I really try to check myself. And I try and process things. So even if I have to revisit it later, because it'll be things that bother me that I won't say anything. But now I'm processing it to go through it where it's not sitting there where I need to release it years down the line. Because now I'm, throwing everything. It's the trash out. You take, when that bag is full, you take it out.
Yeah. Yeah.
You take it out.
Yeah. Yeah. I told her today when I got to her house, I usually come around the same time every week, and it never fails. The garbage truck is always coming down the street, and normally right when I get to your house, it's always right there.
Normally kind of stops us where they be like, "Oh no, you're gonna wait
until we go." They went one day. They pulled up so fast, so like I couldn't back out.
Move if she wanted to.
Today I came at a completely different time, and I wasn't paying attention for a minute. Then I looked up in the rearview mirror, and the garbage truck was coming down the same spot, and I'm like, "Now I done came at a completely different time today." But when she said the trash out, it's just a message for us that every week when we come together, we taking the trash out. And like we talking about,
I told her, I was just like, "Oh no, we taking the trash out. Like we have to let things go, And that's when I talk about the signs and synchronicities. It's stuff like that where it's the symbolism.
Yeah.
So I knew, like when I was just like, "Nah, I said it."
As soon as you got a car, I was like, "Girl, I came at a different time today, and the trash man is in the exact same spot where he is every week, which is like pulling right up to your house when I get there." And you was like, "That's funny," because I was just thinking, like, I wonder, is the trash man gonna be out there?
And then I was just like, okay, so that's what we doing. We taking the trash.
We taking the trash out, and us talking about this trauma that that we have dealt with that a lot of people don't want to talk about. They don't want to deal with it. And we know
from the comments that there's things that we're talking about that resonates with others, so it's just not for us.
It's not just us.
That is what we do want to reach.
Yeah.
But just for my own self, every week it does something, and I try to learn something from every day. Every day, I really do.
Going back to what you said about people won't go to therapy or whatever because they're probably embarrassed about something that they done or their story,
or their parent, how they other people may feel, because we do so many things where we feel like we gotta tell somebody that we doing it. You can do these things and not say nothing.
I told one of my good friends, she has an amazing plan for something, and she told one of her friends, and her friend was like, "I don't think that's a good idea." And I was like, "You gotta learn. I don't care if it's my friend. Like I said, there's plenty of things I've never told you. I don't care if it's my friend. I don't care if it's my sister. I don't care who it is. Some things you have to keep close to your heart. And God will reveal when it's time for you to share it."
And I can attest to that.
He will reveal.
God will reveal, because I get to where I want to, something happen and I want to talk it out. And then I feel like I made and talk too much or then talk to too many different people. And like you said, when you're telling your friend something, your friend can really taint your spirit about doing something really it's just like, no. If you got a good idea, you keep doing it, and it don't matter who on your side.
It don't matter
You
who on
keep
your
doing
side.
it don't matter.
It
And
don't
I
matter what
had
they
to
think.
learn that for myself. Like if I do need to discuss something with somebody, God is gonna let me know.
He will
He
reveal
gonna
the.
let me know. Like, oh, okay.
Yeah, you have to keep. And I've kept so many stories that's happened through my. I'm starting to share them now with you now. And you be looking at me like, girl, what? I don't even know if I
Excuse me.
shared this with you. Like I feel like I've been through every level of abuse that you can go through in life, even physical in a relationship. I would tell you that.
Mm-mm.
I've been physically abused in a relationship, not a marriage. I don't want to put that no, but in a relationship that I was in, and stayed in it until I started like fighting back. And that's something that when I hear stories about women that's been physically abused and people are like, I don't know why she taking that. I've been there. So I know. And it's something that I have not shared like publicly. You know, I forgave the person because I was young. I think I was like 19, 20 or something like that. I forgave the person. They tried to spin the block with me years later after I got divorced. And I was like, oh, no, no, no. And they're like, I'm a different person now. I'm sure you are. However, no, I forgive you because we were different people at that
Yeah,
time.
yeah.
But I had experienced every, I think almost every type of trauma that you can, or of abuse, maybe not alcoholic abuse or nothing like that, but you know, things that you could go through in a relationship. I've experienced that, and I'll be trying to help people like, man, you can come out of that, but God never told me to share that until now that somebody used to hit on me because somebody else probably think, oh, you used to take that because I thought I was so in love or he was going to do better or change or, and he was a church, he was a PK too, actually. You know what I'm saying? But you put on this facade. I put on a display a long time. You know what I'm saying? The portrayal a long time
Mm-hmm.
because I wanted what I thought what my parents had. Like you talked about my mother, she said my husband and this and that. I wanted that so bad that I accepted crumbs and bullshit from so many different people trying to fight for that. So I was willing to hide that somebody was hitting on me to.
And essentially, I won't say all the time, but sometimes that's genuinely what it is we
Yeah.
want something so bad that
Yeah.
we hang on to the abusive relationship, whatever type of
Yeah.
dysfunction it is, because of what we see that we want.
What we see
And
what we
and
want.
sometimes
Yeah.
we have to accept. And I was telling my younger cousin this, that all the time, all of our lives don't necessarily look like how we thought that they were going to look. When I purchased my home, I was just like, this is going to be a starter home. I'm going to leave it for my son and I'm going to be gone.
Yeah.
So here I am now. But just because it hasn't happened doesn't mean that it's
not,
never
yeah.
going to happen.
Exactly.
It can happen tomorrow. I can be up and out of here, but we put these times on stuff. Like, okay, by the time I'm 30, it should be this. And life don't
It don't
look
happen that
like that
way.
all the
Yeah. It
time.
don't happen
And
that
just
way.
because it doesn't, and you see some people who it did happen for, you have to remember that it can still happen for you. And
Yeah.
you don't have to stay in that sunken place where you know you're receiving less than you
Then
deserve.
you deserve. Yeah.
And it's okay to ask for help.
It's
It's
okay.
okay to
Yeah.
ask for help in areas that you struggle in. It is okay to ask for
I never
help.
asked for help during that time because I was so young, and I don't think I was so shocked the first time it happened. And it was, girl, it was over a jealousy thing too, and it happened in my parents' house. My parents, you know, nice size house, and some guy called me, and my
I
boyfriend at the time was sitting there.
I cannot even comprehend this right now.
That's what I'm telling you. My boyfriend was
Like
sitting
in
there
your
in my
parents'
parents' house.
house.
That's the level of disrespect that I've dealt with. Some old friend called, and I was like, "Oh well, no, I'll call you back." And I can't even remember who it was. And the person I was dating at the time was like, "Who was that?" I was like, "Some dude from I don't even know. I can't remember." I was like, "Oh okay, well, let's go downstairs." I was okay. We go downstairs, and I was walking in front of him,
And that was him setting the stage.
He was setting the stage, and when we got down there, as soon as I turned around, he punched me in my face so hard. And I was literally in shock, so I can understand a female's feeling of shock that somebody who say that they love you or like you hard or whatever would do that, and your first initial thought is like, did that just happen? And then they blame you, like, why did you, you should have did, who was that? I was so young to deal with this, and then got mad and left the house. My parents never knew what happened because I didn't scream or anything. I just kind of stood there, and your reaction is in shock, and then you don't do anything, and then you start to call like, why did you do that? You're pouring like, why did you do that? And then they know they could do it again and again and again. So I pulled myself up out of that. I started fighting back towards the end because, I was just like, you ain't about to keep doing this. It was like, you be thinking you love somebody, but yeah, set the stage. So I never judge women or men, because men get abused too, when they, go through that. And every time I've gotten, I'll say, I never take that again. Well, I never took that again, but then I took something else again. Then I took this again. Then it was never that, but maybe it was infidelity I took, or
I never knew you experienced that. It's not my story to tell, so I won't tell their story, but I've witnessed that.
Mm-hmm.
And I myself was in an abusive relationship before.
Physical?
But I was more of the aggressor in it.
It's levels to it.
It is.
And
I don't think it was until this exact moment right now that I
thought about
realized that relationship was an abusive relationship.
Mm-hmm.
I was young.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like literally hitting me now. Like, yeah, that was a form of abuse, but I wanted it to work. I was a pick me for so long.
I was a pick me longer than you.
For so long. Yeah. And then
I was a pick me up until my 40s. That's too long. That's too long to desire something from another human. Like, don't nobody deserve to, nobody deserves for me to want that so much from them. You know what I mean? Like, you just not even. And when I think back on it now, I be thinking like, wow.
My pick me went in waves though. Like, if I'm being honest, like, I think when I realized what it was, I was just like, oh hell nah.
Yeah.
And then something happened and it was a different reason, but I still became the pick me. But it was like I was trying to win you from somebody else. So it's still the pick me. When it was just like I said before, I think we briefly talked about this, like, you really wasn't never even what I wanted. So why did I even play this game for so long?
Yeah.
But there was other pieces of me that needed to be healed.
I think that I know why I stay in those situations longer, because of soul ties. This is why you ain't supposed.
Oh yeah, that's true. People think that part ain't true, but that is. Oh my goodness.
This is why I am adamant, and I wish I could talk to younger ladies and gentlemen more about, like, you're gonna regret this in 20, 30 years. This relationship you're in, well, this person has done you dirty, and and you think that they are amazing. They're not gonna do it again. Like, they're this, they're that, female and male. It's a soul tie that's keeping you there. And I realize that now. That's why I ain't mad at nobody. Because, like I said, the person who was physically abusive with me, I still was like, after years, like, hey, how you doing? We good. Because I realized it was all just a spirit.
And that's another thing too, where I think, like, with the both of us, we might be a lot more forgiving than others. And I've grown into that because I can
Yeah.
hold a grudge.
Yeah.
My memory, I might not remember some stuff, but I can tell you that date where you made me mad. Like, I can hold the grudge.
I remember stuff.
But I am stepping into more of being forgiving because I know how much I'm changing.
Mm-hmm.
And even if that person ain't changing, I'm forgiving you for me.
Mm-hmm.
Not even for you, because you're going to need to work on you. You're going to be judged by yourself. It ain't got nothing to do with me, but I'm forgiving for me.
Yeah, yeah.
And I know how, like I said, how much I done grown, how people in my life, how I've seen them change before my eyes. So it's just stuff that I know. I even talk about that with parenting. It's so many things that I know that I've done that I wouldn't do now. Growth is a big thing.
Growth is a big thing. It's a huge thing. I never was that's a cute cup too.
Thank you. I switched it up because I was lazy and realized I had never washed the cup from last week.
No, what I've learned about forgiveness, it has like elevated me spiritually in a way that I never thought could happen. And what I think I've said this before, I don't know, what people don't realize is when you let go and release like your anger and animosity or enviousness of other people or what they have or what they doing or what you don't have or what you're not doing or what's not happening for you, and it when you release what people have done to you, when you really forgive, like, I forgive you, that changes your life.
It changes your life for the better.
Like, completely for the better. Like, my life is amazing right now. Like, and no, I'm not rich in finances, but I'm rich, if you know what I mean.
Yes.
I'm abundantly wealthy in like most areas of my life because of my level of forgiveness now and my awareness now, my intention. Like even last week when we went to that game and I almost started talking about somebody and I caught myself like, oh no, we ain't doing that, Keisha. And you, because you in alignment with me, it was just like, yeah, girl, we ain't doing that. And we just kept on, you know, when you aware and you forgive, your life change. And people who have had I'm sure people have had issues with me, exes and stuff. I ain't been perfect.
I know I haven't.
Yeah.
I don't say it proud. I just know as a matter of fact.
I ain't been
and
perfect.
I'm not going to be perfect, even while I'm going through this journey, because I'm not going to be. Because sometimes, like I said, taking the moment, sometimes you don't take the moment. Sometimes you just react. And then it's like my niece said something yesterday. I won't be able to quote her directly, but it was just like, she's really trying to pay attention to who we are like individuals. And I think that that's so important. And that was one of the things that I was talking about with the stranger lady. I was just like, because our children see us as moms.
Yeah.
Boy, I'm Tikisha.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I got feelings.
Yeah.
You want to be mad and want to switch up?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I got feelings. Even with everybody that you involved with, no matter what their role is.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I think that that's the thing, though, when you learn to release and everything, and you realize you still got feelings and your feelings can still get hurt. Like, how do you handle that? Because you can't go off.
Yeah.
Your reaction can't be the same as somebody who ain't aware.
Yes. And I've learned everything doesn't necessarily need for me to be addressed in that moment. I guess that's too what I was saying. Like, I am really learning. My niece is 20 years old, and she's saying that because she'll make jokes and they don't be funny. And she be cracking up. But I told her, your jokes are not funny. They're funny to you, but they're hurting our feelings. And we not even getting a chuckle out of it.
Yeah.
She was like, no, it wasn't. It wasn't funny.
Yeah.
So it's just like, girl. But it took me to say that about 5,000 times. But you know what I'm saying? So it's just like when she said that, I was just like, it made me think like we really do need to be more aware.
More aware.
And if that means like taking a step back and then having this conversation when you calm down, like I get that whole don't go to bed mad stuff and all of that. And it ain't necessarily be that I'm mad though. I might just not want to talk about it.
Yeah.
Like I said with the putting the kid out. I love you. The mom loves you. But
yeah,
I need a moment.
Yeah.
The love don't stop. I would hope that whoever I'm with, you know I love you. Because I'm not spending time and pouring my time in with nobody that I don't have no love for.
Yeah. That's why you got to.
Because I value my time. I enjoy being by myself.
As you said, over and over
several times.
And you're going to have a mate that, well, both of us or anybody who's like aware, a mate that understands that as well as respects it, because as you elevate higher and higher, they just gotta know how to. I hate to use the word handle it, but really it's handle it. Because like it, I think I saw a TikTok this week. I always gotta mention my TikTok university. This guy was saying that you have to have a mate that understands that sometimes when you don't want to talk or be around, God may be telling you something that you need to deal with within yourself, and they have to be able to discern that spirit of, okay, it's something spiritual right now. It's not me.
It's not me.
It's not me. It's something she's dealing with God, where you may not even, I don't want to even have to verbalize it that I'm about to fast. And they understand why I'm going on a spiritual fast, that they, and if that person is not, if y'all ain't cohesive like that, then that's going to be an issue, which is why our phones dry.
Man, so dry as it broke.
It's dry. Which is why our phones dry. Because
but I want to say this because
my phone is dry. Let me stop saying that.
It ain't. It's just mine. I want to say this because every week I'll be talking about some future husband, my husband, and when I do this and do that, I think about that one TikTok when I was scrolling like, well, what you gonna do if your husband never come? And everybody was stitching it like we gonna keep living. Like, I'm happy.
I'm okay if he never come. Actually, I live a happy life. I know you do too. I mean, companionship is wonderful.
And that's the thing. It's companionship.
Companionship is absolutely wonderful. And let me say this. I don't believe that God created us to be alone.
I don't either.
He did not create us to be alone. But and when I say we, I mean we, all of us, be trying to force stuff.
Wait, I want to back on this because God know I ain't okay. Keisha said she gonna be okay if he don't come, but I'm gonna let you know this right here.
I mean, shoot, I
am not okay. It is one of my heart's desires. I didn't want it, and it came out of nowhere, so I'm gonna believe that he put it there. But what I'm gonna say is, I still wake up every day happy without it happening. I don't know when my end game gonna be. So if my end game gonna be today, I'm gonna be and die happy without the husband.
Maybe I should stop saying I'm okay and God,
because I ain't okay, sir.
Maybe I should stop. I feel okay. I think God knows what I mean.
And that's the thing, that we happy in our singleness.
Yes.
And but it's something that I desire.
Yeah.
And it ain't wrong with that, just like I want to be Big Mom.
That means whoever you get gonna have to be Big Daddy. He probably don't want to be
He
Big
already
Daddy.
gonna be Big Daddy. He can't come.
He
ain't gonna approach me if he ain't Big Daddy. Okay. I'm just saying.
We're going off on something else.
He ain't coming if he ain't Big Daddy.
No, Lord, no. I am, because I believe you should be happy in your singleness first. And that's what I have made mistakes at before, which is why I've had the relationships I've had. Because I wasn't happy in my singleness because I always wanted the relationship so bad. And I took the path of whatever they offered me, I took that. And they was offering me bullshit. Sorry,
Okay.
y'all. Sorry, y'all.
You telling your truth.
There were great times, but I wanted so bad. Now I've learned to be happy in my singleness, which is an amazing feeling, which is why I say I'm okay, because I've had the other side of it, but I know he's going to bring me the joyful side of it.
Right.
That's why I should, should stop saying I'm okay if he don't bring him, because I want him to bring him, but if he don't,
and that's what I'm saying. Like, I want him to bring him. I'm not gonna. My request is known.
I mean, yeah.
But I also know, like today, right now, I'm good. I'm not sitting here like. Yesterday, I kind of was though. Yesterday, I kind of was.
You're like, where he at?
Where's you at? I'm sitting here sad. Come pick me up. Send a car.
Hey, what's so funny is you saying where is he at, and we talk about phones dry, and I said my phone not really dry. I was like, but it's still like they try to creep in to sway me when you really.
Yeah, because they got no time for no recyclables. That's when I always try and call them when they want to come back. We talked about taking out the trash.
Yeah, you got to get
my recycles go. They don't come back.
They don't come back. But why do mine try to? What am I doing that make them think it's okay to? I hate to use the word spin the block or try to recycle me, because if you didn't get it right the first time, why do you think that you're gonna get it right now?